Hi everyone. So for those of you following along, we have a big full moon tonight and it's in the sign of Scorpio. So if you don't know, the full moon is always in the opposite sign that the sun is in. So right now the sun is in the sign of Taurus, and Taurus is the opposition of Taurus in the zodiac is Scorpio. So that's where the full moon is. And they're opposite, so the sun is illuminating the moon. And you can find all kinds of good stuff online about different rituals to do for a Scorpio full moon. And this is called the Buddha full moon because it's supposedly Buddha's birthday. He was a Scorpio. So there's all kinds of rituals and all these different things that you can do for the Scorpio full moon. But what I'm trying to get at with my videos is to take the astrology a step further in terms of how you can use it for your spiritual practice. So Taurus is the sign of our values and our self-worth and self-love. And Scorpio is the sign of self-empowerment, transformation, which is a big word, but we can actually experience internal and external transformations in our life. And it's also in evolutionary astrology, which is the type of astrology that I practice. It is it's the sign that coincides with a person's soul. So from a spiritual perspective, what we're looking at under this full moon are themes around self-empowerment and soul growth, okay? And because it's being illuminated by the sun in Taurus, it's how are we going to find self-empowerment and soul growth through our value system and through our self-worth. So as you do any kind of full moon ritual tonight, I would encourage you to journal or do a self-inquiry around where you can bring more empowerment to different areas of your life, which you are finding to be problematic or challenging. We all have these areas of life, right? This is part of our evolutionary growth, is that without challenge, without problems, we don't evolve, we just stagnate. And let's face it, life is pretty boring without drama or stories or all of these things. So these challenges are the vehicle through which our soul evolves. So a prompt might be to identify a certain problem that you're having in your life. Let's say, for example, you have a friend who you learned gossiped about you or said something malicious, even directly to you. So how can you find and feel empowered in a situation like that, right? And for everyone, it's different. For some people, they might have to actually leave the relationship entirely. For other people, they might have to confront that person in a constructive manner about the incorrect use of speech, right? So, of course, only you know the correct way of finding empowerment for yourself. But we can always find a way to feel empowered even in situations that are gnarly or shitty or fundamentally just terrible and we want them to go away. That's, of course, totally normal, like basic human behavior, right? To want a problem to go away. But if we're looking at it on a more transcendent level from a spiritual perspective and context, then really we're having a certain situation because there's some value, there's some treasure to be gained from that. And that's also within the Scorpionic archetype. The Scorpio is very psychological in nature, and it is the detective that will stop at nothing to find the truth. And in terms of our spiritual practice, if you are on a quest for self-improvement or even enlightenment, then fundamentally you're also on a journey for the truth. And the Scorpio energy really facilitates that process because it's relentless in wanting to understand what is at the heart of an issue. So use the energy of this full moon to really contemplate where you're feeling disempowered, where you're feeling a lack of self-worth, and how you can shift your perspective or shift your actual actions and behaviors to bring more empowerment. That's the word of the day, empowerment. How can you bring more empowerment into your life? And if you don't even know what empowerment means, then there you go. You start there. What does empowerment mean for me? What we use this phrase personal power a lot, and reclaim your power and all these things, but often we don't even know what that means. Like, in which case I would, because I'm a Capricorn, I will assign you a task. I will assign you some homework, and the homework is that you simply ask the universe, that you say a prayer. Show me, what does this mean for me? What does empowerment mean in my life? Where am I disempowered? Where can I find more empowerment? Sometimes just starting there is the most important. That can be the most important starting point, because we often think that we know when really we don't, and the universe and God, or whatever spiritual belief you ascribe to, actually has an answer for us if we're humble enough to ask, and if we have the patience to allow that answer to come to us. In my experience through my spiritual practice, the more sincere you are in posing a question, the more quickly you will receive an answer. Yeah, so try it out for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Like, do it for yourself. And please leave a comment here. I'd love to hear like what you're doing for a full moon ritual, if you have one, whether or not this inquiry sounds good under the Scorpio full moon for you, if it resonates, or if you're like, what the hell are you talking about, Eileen? I want to hear all these things. And thank you for listening. I hope you have a beautiful day, as always. Happy full moon.